The title of this video is, let me get this on. What's it again? Do the unforgivable. Stop trying to be marriage material. Okay, let me put this. Let me put this way. All right, okay. This idea came to me this morning about image. And again, I'm talking to the woman who's the outcast, the woman who's always known that she's the outcast. She never really fit in. And now you're in your 40s and you've been dating, you enjoy dating, but you realize that you've never really gotten that kind of fulfillment, and that you've never really met a guy or entered into a relationship that fulfilled that spark. That's because you have lived your life, or if you've lived an image that is not your own. The images you're living out, which is expressed in the life that you're living, is you've derived it from society's values, and from what society is acceptable and palatable. And society has molded you to be in a certain way because the way you are as an outcast, since you've been young, people around you saw that you're unruly, you're disobedient in that way. You don't like being told what to do. You like doing things your own way. You don't see the world, other people see it. And so, society has tried to take that kind of wildness out of you. And so you were molded to be this person that is acceptable to society. So you can never get fulfillment from that way of living because it's not your own. It's not an image. It's not an image. It's not a personality that you sourced and you created, figuring life out by yourself. You had to conform to be a certain way. And so therefore, when you go out into the dating world and you try to enter relationships and have a romantic life, and you go out into this world with that image, it's not going to bring you fulfillment because that image is not, first of all, it's not even yours. And so that means it's not real to you and it's not native to you. So you're going to go out and attract also those kind of men that are also not true, not real. And that's where the dissonance comes in. So getting back to nurturing this side of you, getting back to nurturing the outcast in you, the unruly you, the disobedient you, the part of you that is not, that doesn't conform to what society says. You cannot go out and date like other women date and be in relationships, which is what you've been doing. You've been going out and dating, going on dating apps, which is still created in a way that conforms to society's rules. And you've been, and even if you've not been going on dating apps, even if you go out and you meet men and you interact with men, it's still in the context of the patriarchy and how a man is supposed to relate to a woman and how a woman is supposed to relate to a man. It's not based on your own way of being. Yeah, that's how I can say it. So like I said, when you go out to date, you cannot date like other women. You cannot go out there and talk about the things that other women talk about. If you go out in the dating scene, all women talk about, the regular woman, what she talks about is her job, because those are the things that she was told, and also you were told, that are acceptable to society, are palatable to society, and is what society values. And your own ground, the way you are, just how you are, the way you are by itself, as wild and as unruly and as different and weird as it is, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not secure enough. It's not solid enough for you to have the life that you want. And it's not solid enough for you to attract the kind of man that you want. So therefore, you have to add other things to it. You have to actually suppress that part of you and bringing things from the outside that will help you build that ground, so you can attract the life you want. So you can attract the life you want, and you can attract the relationship that you want, and you can, thrive. That's the lie that you've been told, and that's how you've been living your life with this image. And so you will notice that all other women, like I started saying, when they go out to date, they date um, in a way that society, they use the values that society gave them, which is, you talk about their job. What they do is they talk about their job, which is external. It's not your own personality. It's, talking about your job, talking about what did I write? Talking about I love to travel, things like that, things that are acceptable to talk about. Talking about, your degrees and your qualifications, external, you know, talking about things that are acceptable to talk about because that's what society said. These are the things that are valued, and these are the things that you need to project to to be with a man. Okay, so let me pause a little bit. Uh, okay, so as the outcast, the reason why you cannot go out, first of all, is because you've always been different. So that's not going to work for you. You're not going to feel fulfilled. You have to go out and say the things that are truly you, things that project your personality, things that project uh, your way, your own way, outside of the way society says that's how you're supposed to be, or that's what's acceptable. Um, yeah, those are the things that you need to talk about to project your own true personality. And those things are not going to be the things that make you marriage material, as it's said in society. Even marriage material. There's a frame around it. Like I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know. Does it mean that a woman who's marriage material is a woman who cooks and cleans? I don't understand what that means, because if that's the only if that's what will get, especially me, to be in a relationship, I'm not going to be in a relationship because I'm not cooking and cleaning. That's not to say I don't cook and clean. I cook and clean because I have to, not because I enjoy it or because so I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to pretend that that's what I do. That doesn't mean I'm not going to cook every now and then if I want to, because I feel like it. But I'm not going to pretend that I'm this cooking woman. I cook and clean and let me show you that I'm a marriage material and I do this and I do that. That's what I'm saying. You have to, as the outcast, it's time you trust that your own truth is enough for you to attract the man that you want. Yeah, there are going to be other men that are not going to understand you. There are going to be other men that are going to not want to be with you. That's fine. Those are not the men that are for you. But trust and believe there are men that your authenticity and your truth is, no matter how weird it sounds, no matter um, how crazy it sounds, that's what attracts you to them. And it's not, you're not going out there as the outcast, you're not going out there to make being in a relationship the priority. You're going out there to make um, your truth, projecting your true personality the priority, and attracting a man based on that. That's what's more important to you, to be true. You don't want to pretend anymore. You don't want to pretend to be this woman that is, this marriage material kind of, this good girl, this woman that conforms, because that's never who you've been. That's never who you've been. So that's never going to fulfill you, you know. So the way when you go out and date, you cannot talk about what other women talk about. Like I said, the things that I already mentioned. You have to be able to stand on your own ground and speak about the truth of who you are. For example, me, my own truth is that I'm blunt. Like I said in the other video, I don't really know how to sugarcoat things. I'm blunt and I like my own space. Yep. I enjoy being in my house. I enjoy going out every now and then, but I do enjoy being in my house and I like my own space a lot. I'm civil and respectful. I wrote these things down. I'm civil and respectful, but I'm not very friendly. I'm not that kind of overly friendly kind of person that is like, oh my God, I'm not that, Um, I can be very vindictive, especially if I sense that a person is trying to play me or trying to make a fool out of me. If I sense that's what you're trying to do, you're not going to see me coming. You're not going to see me coming. And the reason why you're not going to see me coming is because when I'm with a man, actually, I do like to play this romantic, little girl kind of uh game. I don't know whether it's a game, but it's just a part of me that I do like to do that. I do like to cater to my man in that way. And when I'm with a man, I will actually give you my time. I'm the kind of woman that I will, I will not turn the phone off, but I'll, put it away and give me my whole time. So if I sense that you're trying to play me or trying to be um, a certain way, you're gonna be shocked at how I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off so crudely. You're gonna sit and think that did she really do that? You know. Yeah, that's part of who I am. And I'm very interested, and I cater to the occult and this witchy stuff and this kind of yeah this the dark occult things like that, and fetishes. You know, these are the kind of things that are my truth. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I like. You know, um, that's who I am. So when I'm on a date, these are the things that I'm going to say. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, this is the job I have, blah, 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 and all that. And that, I might say that, but that's not, to me, that's not interesting. That's what I'm saying. It's not, you have to begin saying things that bring out your edge, that are your truth, which are the things that are going to bring out your edge. And when I say that your truth, I don't mean go out and talk about just the nice things like, oh yeah, I'm very kind. I like to do this. I like to do. No, talk about the real you. Talk about the you that is, like I said, vindictive. Talk about the you that is selfish sometimes. Talk about the you um, um, that is insecure sometimes. Talk about you that does things just to laugh at people. Talk about the you that sometimes just wants to trigger people. Talk about that. Talk about the real you. Bring out the other side of you, the side of you that's considered dark and unacceptable and unpalatable. Bring out that side on the date. Talk about those things, you know. And now I'm getting into the part of where I said, do the unforgivable, you know. And you're doing the unforgivable. What I mean by doing the unforgivable is you're doing the unforgivable to kill your image, the image that you've been given by society, which you're trying to hold up, which you know is not yours. You have to kill that image. And the way you kill it, you have to do things that are unforgivable to that image. Let's say you have this image of being a lady, like I have, and people see you like a lady, like, this person that is, I don't know, responsible and like will not maybe not ruffle many feathers and blah blah blah. I think that's how my neighbors see me. That's what I think. And that's what I think. That's how I think people see me too. Like, yeah, this lady who is organized and who uh, I think people can sense that I, like my own space. There's something mysterious about me. They don't really know what it is, but it's all kind of framed up in, being a lady who just does her own thing, blah, 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 and all that. Okay. And being a lady in itself has its own connotation. And it has its own characterization. A lady doesn't cuss. A lady doesn't spit and drink like a man and is always put together, which I do like to be look put together. And there's this frame of what it means to be a lady. That's what you have to break. That's what you have to kill. You have to kill that image and show people, especially on your date, show your date that that's not the only part of you. Yeah, that part of you is always going to be there because especially if you like it and you've grown to like it and you're comfortable in it. That part of you is going to be there, but that's not the only part of you. So you have to kill it off. And the way you kill it off is, like I said, you do the unforgivable, and you're doing the unforgivable to the image. It's like your image, the image of being a lady is like its own entity. And it's like saying to you, how dare you do this to me? Because you know that this is not something that I do. And I'm going to give you a few examples of what I mean by that. Um, um, this is going to be like a story time kind of thing. Let me see how many minutes I have left. I don't actually know. It's not saying here. Okay, let me just continue talking. Um, this is, yeah, like I said, this is it's gonna be like a kind of small story time event or whatever it's called. Um, and this is I'm gonna be talking about the time I got arrested by the police for drunk driving. And you have to talk about things that happen to you, things that are like uh gonna kill your image or taint your image a little bit, but things that you did when you were like an adult, not like when you were a child. Because as a child, people forgive you when you're a child. As a child, when you do things that seem foolish, people forgive you for that because children are, like you don't know what you're doing. But as an adult, people are less unforgivable. But if you're going out there as the outcast and you are assassinating your character and you're taking control of that, you have to talk about the things that you did as an adult, things that are unruly, the things that no one expects you to do, and that's what's giving you the edge. Okay, so the time I got arrested by the police for drunk driving, I don't know whether I was arrested, but I was stopped. It was this time I went clubbing with my friend, and it was about, well, I was driving. It was about like we came out of the club. It was about 4 o'clock, I think, in the morning, 4 a.m. And I was taking her home. I was so drunk because I've been drinking all night. And thinking about it now, I don't, I was lucky. I don't even know why they didn't ban me from driving because if they had given me the, what do you call it, the thing that you blow in, it would have probably made so much noise that they would have been shocked. But I was really, really drunk, but I could still drive. And, the police uh, followed us. The police saw us because uh, was, um, one of my tires was deflated and deflated really badly. And, so the police followed us and, I tried to dodge them. And eventually I just stopped because they started to flash me, and so I stopped somewhere, and they they said to me that your tire is like deflated, so you cannot drive, and started to like kind of pretend that I didn't know that it was, which was a lie. I knew exactly what I was doing. And we were like, no, 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 you have to leave it here. You can come and pick it up tomorrow morning, but you can, yeah, you have to leave it here. So my friend, she had to go home by herself, and they brought me home. They put me in their police van. You know those big kind of vans that like that has no windows at the back. The kind of vans that um in the movies, that's how I see it. In the movies, when they arrest these like villains and they throw them at the back of the van, those vans that have no windows. That's the van that I was put in, and they brought me home. Now it's funny to me when I even see these vans, these police vans, because it reminds me of the time when I wasn't really arrested, but I was brought back home in this van, because they didn't allow me to drive, so I had to leave my car there, and I had to go and pick it up the next morning. I had to go and fix it and then pick it up. So yeah, this is one of the things. It's not really that bad, but to someone have someone who has this um, image as a lady, a lady will not be doing those kind of things. This is the example I'm trying to give. That these are the kind of things that you don't have to go. You have to choose what you want to say on a date. You don't have to say everything, but you have to say something. Just speak about your truth. Period. The second thing is I'm going to talk about shoplifting. I used to date this guy that years ago. I used to date this guy that we'd go into these supermarkets where we shop, and then we'll shoplift. We'll pick up some things. It's not because we didn't have the money or so. We went to shop, but it's because it was fun. It was just fun. Shoplifting and getting up and seeing whether we could get away with it. And what I would do is I'll pick some of the things that I like little shampoos and things, and I'll put it in his bag. And then he'll buy other things, and then we'll remove the tax, and he'll pay for the things that he bought, but he'll leave the other things in his bag. And it was the thrill of seeing whether we'll get caught, because the supermarkets, they have cameras. They have cameras, at the top, and I think at the bottom too. So it was just that. It wasn't because, like I said, we didn't have the money. It was just the thrill. And I you know, um I knew that he was not going to be questioned. I kind of like maybe 80-90% knew that he was not going to be questioned, because he doesn't fit the profile. He doesn't fit the profile of someone who's going to be shoplifting. He doesn't look like somebody who's going to be, he's an older guy. Looks kind of put together, the way he dresses, and you would never, ever, ever in a million years think that this guy would 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 shoplift. So with that in mind, but also there was also like this 10% chance of maybe we could be caught. Maybe we could be caught. So that thrill of seeing whether we could be caught, or whether we could get away with it, is why we did it. And we did it a few times, and I enjoy doing that because it brought some spice to our relationship. It's something that we shared. One of the things that we shared, that we just wanted to fool around, as as old as we were, we just wanted to fool around, and we did that. So yeah, so that's also another thing. The other thing I also did is, like I said, my neighbors. I think that my neighbors see me a certain way, and it's not that I think it. I know that they see me a certain way, because that's how people see me, like a lady who's put together and all that. But one time I went to ask my neighbors about whether they knew of anyone who supplies magic mushrooms. And That's something that I would never, ever, ever, that I would never, ever, ever think of doing. Because essentially in doing that, I know that my neighbors are going to look at me like, what? What? That doesn't fit, her profile. It doesn't fit her profile as a lady. Like asking for magic mushrooms, asking her neighbors for magic mushrooms, and that's what I'm talking about. But it's the truth. It's the truth of who I am. So this is what I'm saying. You have to go on a date and shock the hell out of your date. Say things on a date that you would never dare say because of the image that you have, the image that you were told that this is the image that is going to get you what you want in life. This is the image that's going to get you the man that you really want. This is the image that's going to make you thrive in life, which is not true. It's the image that society says that, yeah, it's going to help you thrive. It's not going to help you thrive, especially you as the outcast. It's going to help you, live a certain life, but it's never going to be fulfilled. You're never going to live that life and be in a relationship where you're going to be at the edge of your seat all the time, because you're not going to be able to attract that kind of man. Because you always have to go out there and present an image and pretend to be something that you're not. So, like I said before, you're going to attract the same kind of man. So you're going to enter into relationships, be in relationships that you tolerate, like many other people, but it's not going to be this exciting, this firecracking, this relationship that with a man who's also who lives on the edge, because he's not afraid to talk about his dark side. He's not afraid to shock you. you know, he's not afraid to because he's not afraid to be judged. He's accepted himself for who he is. And as the outcast, also, if you're dating, you also have to now practice, you know, using your own truth as the ground with which you attract a man to you. And be secure in the fact that your ground, your own truth is enough. It's enough for you to attract the man that you want. And you can attract the man that you want. You think they're all men just want regular women? There are also men that are like fed up with dating. You know why? They can sense, especially a man who also has strong Lilith placements. He's gonna sense when he's on a date. He's gonna sense a woman that's fake, a woman that's trying to be this kind of marriage material, good girl kind of. He's gonna sense that, and he doesn't want that. He wants a woman who doesn't give a fuck, a woman who doesn't care whether her truth is accepted or not. Or whether a man accepts it or whether the patriarchy accepts it. No, because her truth is what's important to her. Her authenticity is what's important to her. And she wants to attract a man like that. So I think I've basically said everything I wanted to say. I think so. Yeah, so like I said, the title of the video is Do the Unforgivable. Assassinate your own character. Assassinate your image that you've used to try to get things from the world, which is not going to fulfill you. Especially as outcasts, you're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to be fulfilled trying to fit in where you've never fitted in anyway. So do your own thing. This is what people mean when they say do you. Do you, meaning do things your own way. That is enough. It has enough potency and enough power to bring you the life that you want. You don't have to pretend to be something that you're not. There's a man out there, not just one man, many, many men that are going to like you for that. Because they themselves are like that. And even the regular men, that's the kind of woman, most of the regular men, that's the kind of woman that they want. Yeah, some of them are going to be scared of you. They're going to be like, oh, she's too crazy or she's too weird. And like, oh my God, you did that? Oh, that's too criminal for me. I don't think I'll be able to date you. Yeah, you're gonna have men that are maybe gonna think like that and gonna feel that way about you. But those are not the kind of men you want. And that's been the payoff for you. The payoff for you pretending to be this, marriage material kind of woman and trying to fit in. The payoff for you has always been like, you probably get more dates. I don't know, maybe not. You probably get more dates. You probably end up in a relationship faster, or maybe not. That's just been the payoff. But it's never been a relationship that truly fulfilled you. And as the outcast, you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. It's like just being in a relationship that you tolerate, a regular relationship that every other woman is in. And you are not willing to stand for that anymore, which is why you are fed up with dating. But you're not fed up with dating because there are no good men out there. It's because you yourself have not projected all of you. You've not projected the true you. You've projected an image of this woman who is this way, but that's not who you are. That's not who you truly are. And so you attract men that are like that too. So you all end up in this relationship where neither one of you is real. Neither one of you can tell each other who you really are. And so you have this pretense game going on. And it's not fulfilling. So yeah, this is what I want to talk about. Your image, the image that you're holding on to is not your own, and you have to kill it. You have to dilute it. You have to bring this other side out. This side that society says is unpalatable. It's not valuable. You have to value that part now. You have to value this outcast part of you. This part of you that's unruly, that's disobedient, that is criminal, that is yeah, did I say disobedient? Yeah, that is nonconformist. And all of this is based on having strong Lilith placements. The people that are going to understand me first and are going to really resonate with me first are the people that have strong Lilith placements. If you have Lilith in Scorpio, if you know about like astrology, you're going to know what I'm talking about. If you have Lilith in Scorpio, Scorpio being the sign of, death, the sign of transformation, the sign of magic, dark sexuality, taboos, the underground shadows and things like that. Lilith's the bulk of her powers is in Scorpio, and I have Lilith in Scorpio, so I've always been the outcast. I've always never really fitted in because I could never really conform completely to how the patriarchal system wanted me to be. And there's been a payoff for women to be like that because of the way the system has been. Like, women have not been willing to take charge of their dating lives because it's easy. It's easier to go on a dating app and just, pick. But like I said, the men that you're gonna meet there, and the way you're gonna date is not gonna be satisfying. It's not gonna be fulfilling. And if you end up in a relationship, it's not gonna be fulfilling either. So yeah. Like I said, yeah, if you have strong Lilith placements, like Lilith in Scorpios, I have Lilith in Aries in Scorpio, which means that the body, Aries is also the sign of the body. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So it's like the body showing up first, and then you get into Taurus, where you're trying to figure out your senses, what you like, trying to figure out your sense of taste, your sense of smell. But the first sign is, like you show up as the body. So I have a very strong Lilith placement. And if you have a very strong Lilith placement, like me, even as a man, you're not gonna gel well with doing things the way everyone else does them. So I'm talking to you, I'm referring to you, and I'm saying, like I said, stop trying to be marriage material. Stop trying to be marriage material in the way society says that's how a married woman acts. That's what a married woman talks about. That's how a married woman behaves, you know. Stop trying to gain your power from that. Yeah, stop trying to gain your power from that. Stop trying to gain your beauty and your pride and your potency from that, because that's not true for you. It's a program. It's a program. It's a frame that's been created. You have your own ground. You have your own way of being, and that's what you have to nurture and trust that there are men out there that will like you like that. Because the story that you've been told, which many of us have been told, is that a man is not going to accept you, blah blah blah, and all that nonsense, and which is not true. It's how can the whole world just have one story, or like let's say 90% of the world have one story that a woman who wants to be in a relationship, who wants to be married, has to act this way. How is that possible? That's impossible. We are all unique. We're all unique. We all have our unique way of being, and your way of being away from society and away from society's way of being is valid. It's valid, and it needs to be expressed, and it gets expressed in your true personality, not in the one that you sourced from yourself, the one that you sourced by figuring life out by yourself, not by listening to what the world told you that's how you're supposed to be. It's valid, no matter how different it is, no matter how weird it is, no matter how weird it looks to other people. It's valid, and it thrives in, like I said, it thrives in your own personal space, in your own personality. If you cannot even live um, life expressing your own truth and your own personality, and using your own personal ground and your own, like I said, personality, and drawing to you the things that you want in life, like the relationship that you want, the life that you want, then what the fuck are you alive for? If your own personality cannot even thrive, what the fuck are you even alive for? It's conformity. That's what it is. But that's not true for you. So that's what I'm saying. Let your personality be. Go out on a date and express your personality, express your own truth. If the man that you're dating gets up and leaves or doesn't call you back on a date or whatever happens after that, let it be. That's not what should be important to you. What should be important to you is beginning to live your truth. This is what people mean when they say live your own truth, away from what society says. Yeah, it is. And like I said, if a man does not have the balls to handle you the way you are, uh, then you don't want that kind of man anyway. You don't. What kind of man do you want to be in a relationship with, who cannot handle who you are, who cannot handle your truth? And when I say your truth, I mean the good parts of you, the bad parts of you, the good parts of you, the evil parts of you, the unruly parts of you, the sexual parts of you, every part of you. If you go out on a date and you're talking to a man who cannot handle that, or you've been talking to a man who cannot handle that, you don't want that man, because what what's what enjoyment are you going to get from that, from trying to pretend to be to be something that you're not, especially as the outcast? You're not going to get any fulfillment from that. Okay, I think I've said enough. Not as in as in uh I'm not gonna say anything, that's gonna shock the hell out of you as my viewers. But like, I think I've said everything I wanted to say, and so um I will see you again sometime, maybe today or maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure, just whenever the mood takes me. In the meantime, have a great day wherever you are, and yeah, bye-bye.